stay in studio or leave studio? Hello, I'm Orlando Zabo,
And hi, this is Kaz Drysdale.
and this is Late Night Right. And
And you,
today we're going to be talking about things that we have done to get into our work out there, and all the different ways you can do it, I guess.
yeah, how to do it? It's a very good
Yeah.
question.
Well, it is.
And what are we trying to do?
Well,
I mean,
I think
mm,
well, being a screenwriter, you've got it isn't just the writing. I mean, there's 500 hurdles out there that
yeah,
we're gonna see we're gonna see if we can work on some of those,
mm-hmm,
just so new writers have an idea
yeah,
what they're up against, and y- um, there's more than one way to go about getting your work out there and getting it produced.
that's correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, food for
So,
thought.
oh yeah, for sure. So in the first segment here, I guess we'll be talking about uh, well, the different types of material we have, and why we have so many different types of material to put out there in the first place. You know, you have scripts, and that is our bread and butter right there. First and foremost, we have to have a physical script before you can try to get anything into anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, because we have movie scripts, we both, I have TV scripts. Me and Kaz together have a mini series, or I'd say a limited series because
Yeah,
it's only going to be so big and that's it. There's
yeah.
nothing coming after it,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
of
scripts
course,
as well.
yeah, but yeah,
Movies,
movie
I should
scripts.
say.
Yeah, movie scripts.
Mm,
I've got some made for TV movies myself, and
yeah.
of course we have them in different genres.
Yes.
Different genres, but almost all of them are within that circle of
Mm,
sci-fi, fantasy, supernatural, thriller type.
the
You
fun
know,
part. Mm,
yeah, the good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So what we do is doing that gave us a few more open doors. You might as well say
Mm,
there's more options because all of the options you have for say just a sci-fi um, would literally go to straight sci-fi producing companies. You know, when that's all they do is sci-fi, right?
mm.
But if you've
So
got a sci-fi that's mixed with supernatural, you can also run that to companies who deal with the supernatural.
always a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't choose a comedian if you're selling sci-fi, in other words.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Mr. Forever, we combined a horror and a comedy.
Yeah, you can do that, but you have a major
Yeah.
theme as genre speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, both comedy and horror
Yeah.
are literally, you know, major genres. It's just that most horrors end up are usually more lower down to the B side because usually they're quite easy to make.
That's right.
They have much smaller budgets, and well, hey,
Yes.
the same goes for comedy as well,
Mm,
depending on whether or not there's a big actor involved,
that's right.
right?
And yeah, I mean, what we're saying here is we did and have done and do, like, look up a director, for example, or producer, who specialises in a certain genre, such as, sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't take a comedy, just a straight comedy script to him or her,
No.
I would go, that is the first thing we learn, one of the first things among many things we learn, to do those sorts of little things. And don't waste your time on sending a one pager to them or whatever.
Well,
But yeah,
and I have to laugh because one of the things we're always told is know who you're writing for.
yeah,
They
that
didn't
is big.
they didn't tell you you should be
Mm.
writing for a production company.
That's right, yeah.
Not
So we've gone
necessarily
beyond the love of writing our
uh,
story to
right.
how to sell the
Right,
bloody thing.
because in a lot of cases they're not talking about whether it's people from 13 to 20 or
Mm.
male or
Mm.
female or your target audience.
That's right,
That's
yeah.
not the same thing as who you're writing it for. You're writing it
And
you're writing it in the hopes that this particular production company
yes,
will like it,
that will even look at it. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because if it's in their ballpark, then the
Mm.
odds are always going to be higher that they'll say, yeah, send it in.
You have
And that's
to
the other thing.
keep.
That's the other thing. Never send in your whole script unless they ask you to.
No, no,
Never,
never.
because you're just throwing your work out there,
Hmm.
and that's
Absolutely
just not a good
correct.
thing.
Yeah, waste of time. When I was sitting there, when I went over with Hal and the writers group, when I
Mm-hmm.
left, and I come from China to Hollywood for one of Screenwriting U, sitting
Oh,
around doing the
oh,
business one,
the
plus
meet and greet.
meet and greet. That's it. And we went, yeah, and we sat in around the board table at Sony, which is where Hal
Mm-hmm.
and God, what's his name? Anyway,
Gary,
so yeah,
Gary.
Jerry, yeah,
No, no,
yeah,
Gary.
yeah. Anyway, so we sat. We all us writers, Hal's chickadees, and we spoke to this guy, the marketing guy, the number two in charge of Sony, accepting and rejecting scripts.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that was beyond the gatekeeper, initial
Mm-hmm.
gatekeeper, and we
Yep.
had the number one. I think some, I think Nancy Moss, some lady anyway. So she was in charge of it at the time, and but anyway, the second in charge, the guy, young, get up, and go, the usual thing, and he said, "This is why I buy a script. This is how I choose a story." And he said, "I read if it's a comedy, I read the first page. If I don't get a laugh, gone." That,
That makes sense.
that's what he said. He said, "I don't have time to read everything." So this is a really big tip for me at the time. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
make your first page. He said, and then if I get a laugh on page number one, and I go to number two, and if I get another laugh, okay, then I'll read more, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a good chance, your fair chance, if it keeps up the thing and in the timely way that you expect this to happen. If it fades away, boom, gone, bye,
Right. But it has to have a solid, intriguing story
Yeah.
as well as the comedy.
No, he said he just wants to laugh. That's it. He said,
There you
I'm
go.
busy.
Yep.
He said, if I don't get a laugh, I don't care. It's gone. He
Yep.
said,
Exactly.
you might be lovely and all the rest of it. You might be my next door neighbour, but I'm still not going to make your movie. Yeah, I don't get love,
Mhm.
and that's his personal test.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
uh,
And the agents and that we talked to on one of the times I went down there,
mm.
um, and that was
Oh yeah, you pay around there. I remember we went there too and saw met House, the House
yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and
Um,
he was really nice. He talked to us as a group writer, and that was off the cuff. In the back lot, he came in, and then he said, "Oh yeah, well," oh, I said, I'm busy," and Gary said, "Oh no, we got some Australian writers." And he said, "Oh, okay, I'll come." I thought that was funny. I think it was Hal that Gary told us that, you know.
mhm,
So we
mhm.
all laughed about that. But he's really cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But the
can't even remember.
agents,
Peter,
but the
Laurie,
I know,
something like
but the agents that we talked to, they all said exactly the same thing.
that.
Although they would give you a bit of grace and say, "I'll read 3 pages,"
No, that's right. That was,
stuff like that. And it didn't matter. At Paramount, we were at Warner Brother, we were at
mm,
Lantana, we were at uh, Disney Studios.
mm,
Um, because I went a few times, right?
yeah.
And literally, everybody came out of it hitting the same way.
Mm, yeah. I love that. That I learned a lot by going to there and doing that. Well, we did actually did
Mm-hmm.
so many days on movies and so many days on TV. I had notebook after notebook I filled up. Never read it, I don't think. Well, I did. I referred to it. I tell a lie, of course, but I
Right.
didn't. You know, there was so much information, and and I mean, Hal and Gary's are absolutely wonderful, and we end up going to the Emmys. That's right, one night.
Well, you guys did. We didn't get to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I could. I'm not gonna. I'm in China and I'm getting an invite, and I'm in. Holy shit! You know, I got an invite, and I'm a real, first up. I'm still in class. You know, like learning it, trying to learn everything, and that's why
Yeah.
that's very good value going and I met all these stars and I said, hey, g'day, and I was with who was I can't remember her name now. Really nice person. She's in my class as well, and she's an Aussie, lives in Hobart, and she's fun, and her husband was there, and we were at the Oscars. I suppose I'm getting off track because I think you had
Yeah,
something
quite.
to say. I'll tell you later. There you go. Back to you.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Another day we can talk about that one.
Yeah. Ask me what happened in the Oscars. Send us a message. We do
Well,
read
hey,
your comments, by the way.
hey, that'll be our screenwriting.
That would be lovely to hear from.
We'll do one just on that because we both took the pro classes. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
gotta admit, with the pro, I that was when I learned that hey, I've been doing it right.
Yes.
I
Yes.
learned
Yes.
that I was doing it right. So I figured, okay, this is really good. So then I went to the master rewrite class,
Mm. Yeah.
and that was
Yeah, I
and
did
that was
masters too.
cool.
We did all those.
That
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. How to
definitely
rewrite.
cool. Yeah, because it just really it opened your eyes to all kinds of different
Yeah.
possibilities, and how you go about moving and shifting things, and the little tweak here can make a huge difference later.
I tell you what. I mean, it has to be. Like going through screenwriting, and it was called Pro Series back then too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they call it now, but that was the best thing that ever happened to me, coming from like no knowledge to
Yeah.
learning bit by bit, and it always kept you interested. I get excited
Mm-hmm.
even all the time. I mean, oh, if you learn something new, It's not a little thing. Always a huge thing that opens up a whole new panorama of ideas. That's that's me. I don't know, but yeah,
Well,
concepts all the time.
and that's the
Al
point.
always gave us concepts. Yeah,
Yes, but that is
yeah,
that is the literal point,
yeah.
is to make your screenplay the best it can possibly be.
Yes, he
You
always
know,
had
like a
something up
first
his
draft,
sleeve.
a first draft of a screenplay, no matter how good you wrote it the first time, it can
Mm,
always be better, always.
always,
And
yeah.
you never send it in without going over it 2 or 3 times to make sure it's edited and clean.
That's right. Yeah.
You know,
What? Yeah.
because contrary to belief, common belief, yeah, typos throw you out of the story
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because everybody knows. Hey, everybody knows how to read, but when you see something that's, um, well, hey, a typo, um, it makes especially depending what kind it is,
Yeah.
you have to sit there and wonder, okay, is the typo this letter or that letter, or
Oh,
well,
yeah.
what word do we actually have here, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's critical, right?
There can be.
You know, and that kind of stuff kind of leads us into competitions.
Aha. Yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
that too.
because that's one of those places where, hey, if you your formatting isn't right, if you got typos, um, if you haven't done a really good going over of your script to make sure the whole story is solid, your characters are in character and they're all different,
It made
you
you
know,
have
because
like a good look.
well, even if you have something with, like, 3 sisters or 3 brothers, they're all going to be extremely different people,
That's
regardless,
right. Yeah.
and they have to stay in that character to, like a 90th degree type of thing, where they could have, they might learn something and then change their mind, but they would change your mind in a way that would be natural for that character to change your mind.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
It makes you pay attention if you're doing competition.
hmm Yeah, but competitions are definitely a good way of getting a handle on where you're sitting
Mm,
as a writer. Like, whether
that's
it's
right.
the type of story you're writing,
Mm,
or whether it's the angle you came at in your story, or whether it was just physically not written well.
that's true.
Those 3 things. Those all 3 will. Oh, and whether it's properly written for the genre you're going for,
Yes.
right? Because every genre has their tricks,
Mm,
So I
yeah.
mean, those are 4 things you have to make sure you got set before you send it into a competition. Now, you might be wondering how I know about that, and it probably because I have 10 different scripts that came into the finals at 10 different competitions.
Mm. Was that with
So,
Blue? Who'd
hmm
you send them to? Who did you,
Oh,
back in those days? It was like Blue something.
well, Blue Cat was one of them.
Yeah,
There
that's
was
it.
Red Ink Works. There was, well, and there's, well, I mean, a huge amount of
Yeah,
them.
very, very,
You
very.
and some of them are genre specific.
Mm, yeah.
You know, but I've also done, like, I mean, I had a short movie that was just a straight up supernatural, but it
Mm,
had to do with um, environmental.
mm, yes.
But I mean, it was for mine was a supernatural, and it came in the top 5
Yeah, that, yeah, that's
type
great.
of thing,
Yeah.
and it was like, Holy smokes.
I know. You're always surprised.
Because, I mean, that wouldn't have been a genre I would have normally written
Yeah, I
without
know what you mean.
without that knowing that contest is coming up,
Yes, right towards the
right? Stuff like that,
sentiments. Yeah.
you know. Plus the fact I was a reviewer on I think 3 years in a row for a horror contest. I
Yeah.
was one of the readers,
You used to write, yeah, you used to write horror.
so that was always fun.
Mm.
Because the best way to learn the tricks of the trade is to actually be reading a lot of them. So
That's
it's so I mean, if you volunteer to be a reader for a competition, I mean you're gonna learn massive ways of well, basically just training your thinking to go off in 5 million different directions,
yeah.
because you should be coming at everything from a number of different directions before you find the right one.
Well, I sent in two of my scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Both made it to the, you know, what is it, semi-finals or I don't know what it was, but it was really up there. Yeah, resubmitted. So that's two scripts that I sent in. Both
Mm-hmm.
got, you know,
Both got,
got
both got
yes,
noticed. Yes.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
And
you
then
know
there's
the
Rogue. And then there's Rogue.
semi-finals and all that, and it got
Yeah.
very exciting. You know, I think it was with
Oh yeah.
Paige. Paige
Yep.
was one of them, and Nichols was the other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I've sent to both. Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's Rogan's War. Where did that end up?
Ah, our favourite.
Yeah.
Our favourite. For many reasons that we probably won't even come up with it, but you know, yeah, personal favourite in a way that how much work we put into it, how much this was our first thing that we wrote together, so
Yeah.
that might put it in its place, you know. First
Yeah.
time we wrote together. How did we meet? Just
Yeah.
we've known each
And
other for just a few short months prior to that, in
Mm-hmm.
2008 when we first met,
Yep.
and then we went like on Skype. So we've been Skyping from there on, you know. In 2009, early of that year, then why don't we write together? And so that was a huge thing, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah.
And
But
what are we going
the
to write
point.
about?
Well, the point was, where did Rogan's War end up in the competition category?
Yeah,
It ended up on the blacklist at IMDb.
that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Which
Yeah,
means,
the good
and
blacklist, not the bad.
well, yes, on IMDb, if you get on the blacklist, that means
Yeah.
this is a script that it didn't make
Yeah.
the top script, but their script's worthy of notice.
Yeah. Well, I was
You
ready
know?
for directors.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's what
literally,
they-
that's a place where directors and producers can come to
They-
find scripts.
Yeah.
Is off the blacklist.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good field as well.
That was awesome, especially since it was our first script together. That was just crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, once we had our concept and we sort of like talked it back and forth, and we said, yeah, okay, we want to do this, and you know, blah blah blah, and I'll just detour on this little bit for where we learned something by do not write away from your major theme, you know, your concepts, and we wrote a whole lot about the farm, which we call it the farm, you know, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we had to. That is where we learned, you know, like together, that we okay, this is what we don't do, and that's just right away from your A story and your B story. we ended up with like a Z story, which was great. And we thought, well, we
Yes.
can write another script about a story about that
Just
alone.
that part that we pulled
Yeah,
out could make
yeah,
a whole drama series all by itself.
yeah. And then, and why as well, even though it was great, the little
Hmm.
side detour, I loved it, we both did. But we thought that, like, then here it is. The thing about script writing is page number. We would have ended up with, and we knew it, we said, we can't write that anyway because we'd end up with, like too many pages, like, at least 20 pages more. And that's the other thing.
Yes.
We learned by that. But as we wrote together, we figured stuff out together and we're still figuring out stuff together. Yeah. Anyway, back to Rogan's War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to competitions.
Competition, that's where we were.
Yeah, back to
Go.
competitions. Yeah. And it's funny because I've written 26 scripts. 6 of them were with you. Now, one of those
There you
got
go,
onto the
yeah.
blacklist. One got onto the blacklist. But there's still another 9 out of the 20 of my movie scripts that did good in competition.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, that's almost half and half. And I didn't send all of them into competition either.
Mm. Mm.
You know. But yeah, I only sent in well, no, there was 2 shorts that I sent in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one was a horror.
We should have Brody here. Don't know what I thought of him.
No.
Hi, Brody, if you're watching.
Yeah, exactly, eh?
Oh, I owe you a reply. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah,
It's one of those things, my friend.
yeah, you're a prolific writer
Well, I try hard. That's for
of
darn sure.
story.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when there's lots out there to talk about, lots of stuff happening out there, it makes it much easier to write a script that'll be I wouldn't say necessarily pertinent to the time,
Mm.
because no, I just, like you and I with Rogan's War, we just took what was going on there and extrapolated what would be the outcome.
That futuristic thing in a way.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Exactly. Well, and it wasn't even a futuristic thing, not with Rogan's
But-
War.
But very present in the present as well.
And
what could happen. Yeah.
Well, yes, I know, but readers that we had just said, "Well, that could never happen. I mean, that's crazy. That could never happen."
yeah.
And guess what's happening?
The crazy stuff is happening right now.
Yeah,
And I,
10 years after.
Yeah. Just gonna move my headphones. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, when you write for the future, people, and they read your script, because you're script writers, you do that for each other.
Mhm.
And then they say, oh, that would never happen. And I suppose what we had was we have a bad president. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, I would always shorten it to, oh, look, great, a story with a bad president. And that was like, oh, no, that could never happen. They'd get in a page, 5 or something, they go, this is not real. It could never happen.
It'll never
in
happen.
America. Yeah.
Well, I think they figured it would just never happen anywhere.
And, well, I don't
Period.
know if they know about anywhere, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably true.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was,
maybe right.
but that one is a political thriller, and hey, uh, we could make it today, and everybody would say, "Holy smokes!"
That's
You
right.
know,
We
because
should.
it's one of those kind of scripts that's kind of evergreen. The
That's well, yeah.
the
That's true.
time the time we're in doesn't matter because
Yeah.
it is something that you could it could happen at any time.
Yeah.
This
It's a,
particular
it's,
one,
it's a
you
good
know.
one. Never get
Yep,
boring.
yep, yep.
It's like
And then of course, other than competitions, you getting into the industry, it's hey, you can go at it sideways. I mean, that's always my favorite term for it. Well, if you can't go straight in, go at it sideways, which
yeah,
is
sideways. That's
which is why I have movie scripts, TV movies, TV series, miniseries, short films, short scripts, and also adaptations from book to script. And now I'm doing script to book, just simply because I can,
mm,
you know. And when you're waiting for something else to come through,
yeah.
instead of you got something in a competition, it's going to be 2 or 3 months before it comes due. You could have a couple of new scripts written by then.
It's
You know,
true.
if
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
ideas going,
Yes.
and it really doesn't much matter what you're writing so long as you are writing
Yeah.
all the time.
Mm.
The only thing I would say is like, okay, now if you're gonna write books, like literally separate time. Don't try to write a script one day and a book the next day,
Right.
because the formatting is so completely different, and then jump back to a script again. No,
Absolutely.
you're gonna start melding them together, and then you're gonna have a big mess, and nobody's gonna know what the heck you wrote.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The words are on the page, but I'm not sure what this page is. It's just not. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So, you know, because of course we know, TV has different formats. Hey, writing for stage, different format again.
Oh, yeah.
Every single different way of writing has a different layout.
Mm.
As long as we remember that, hey, we're good. Because I mean, that's where you jump into competitions and stuff like this. You could have the same story, physically the same exact story.
Mm.
You could have it in a book form, and you could have it in, say, a say movie of the week, TV form. But you could always also have it written in a stage play format. It gives you three separate avenues, all of which may end up with it being in your preferred one if that happens to be screenplays.
Yeah.
Because if you got the book, you've already got the book. You can go out there, you can sell it.
Mm.
You don't even need a publisher. You can sell it yourself now.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of ways of doing it.
Yeah.
But if you've got a TV movie type, well, I don't know. If somebody reads the book, they go, "Hey, this is great. I'd love to make a TV movie out of
That's,
this. We should get the rights from the author." Well, the author has already written that TV script, so the odds that you're going to get hired to do it, you're going to get paid for it. I mean,
yeah.
you can license it to them, but you do not want to be literally giving them the full copyright. They could only have TV copyright
Yeah.
because
That's right.
because
Then
if you
giving
give them
it.
full if you give them full copyright, you can't go any further in your book. Like if you were planning on doing a series of 3 books, well, you can no longer write that story or those characters because they own it. So just know that going in.
Don't even mind the character either, or just that, because then you can
Well,
never write about it again.
well, that's right. So if you love something, your best bet is to try to get it as rock solid as possible, so that nobody is going to want to make any changes to it.
Yeah. Wow.
You make it clean, you make it clean, you make it rock solid, and you just don't leave any spaces that are up for negotiation in your
Absolutely.
screenwriting.
Yeah.
No throw.
That's rock solid.
That's right. No throwaway scene.
Yep.
Right. Every scene in there should count.
That's right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
What else are we?
You know. But that I mean, doing it that way though, I mean, if you're in a position where you know somebody who's working at a theater, a live theater, um, y- you might find it easier to get a script to them and get it read. And hey, maybe they'll decide to do it live. Now, if they do decide to do it live, then other people are going to see it and go, hey, that would be a great movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
Somebody else might say, hey, well, I'd love to read the book. There's got to be more to it, right? In the book always has more details, right?
Yeah.
And, well, hey, if you already got the book, just bang, they're available, Give them your .com or whatever it is that is required, and, there you go. But that's what I mean by coming at it sideways.
That's right.
That's one way. Because now in Hollywood, I mean, I don't know. It's not looking good for the industry from the Hollywood point of view.
That's right.
Because so many people are just not working there since they had, and it wasn't even COVID, it was the strikes afterwards.
That's right.
They could have bounced back from COVID, no problem. But once you throw strikes on top, two separate strikes on top of that, it just,
Oh, I was
it's
going to
just
say there were two. Yeah, not just one.
everybody who could have had a job during those times was out striking, and they had no income. Now they can't afford to live in California.
Yeah.
So they've either got to be working other side jobs, and there's next to none of those because more than 50% of all of the small businesses disappeared.
Mm.
COVID killed that.
Yeah.
And then more left after that. With once the strikes were on there, nobody was able to make any money in the industry.
Yeah.
So, literally, I would just say, go literally to production companies.
Mm.
I wouldn't go with studios because there's no sense. Because most of those production companies then go to the studios. You don't have to do it. The production company will. Right?
Yep. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Or if they think it's that good and financing is able to be gotten in other ways than through the studio system. Well, distribution now, online, and even a lot of the theaters will do independent movies. That's not a problem because there aren't a lot of movies coming out of Hollywood.
That's true. Yeah.
So and then hey, if all of a sudden there's going to be tariffs going on, 100% tariffs on
That's another thing.
foreign made movies, like anything that, even if it's an American company or Canadian, if it's a Canadian, if they come up here and film up here in Canada, instead of filming in the States, they're still going to have to pay that.
That's right. And there's a lot of movies being made in Sydney, in Australia, Gold Coast, a hell of a lot. And because there's still the financing, it's being financed by the Americans that would have been normally in Hollywood. it's now going offshore. So that's Australia. A lot of meat is making are being made, and I think I don't know if it's still applicable. London, that's something else I heard from one of my
Yes.
friends and things.
Hmm.
Yeah, actors and
And
things.
there's probably a lot still being made in Germany.
Yeah, there's somewhere else. I mean, Europe's a mess at the moment. Am I right there? Tell me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I
But
mean, you got three major locations right now, which was Hollywood and Australia because of the exchange rate. Which, let's be honest,
that was the
it
same with
costs you
us.
half for your budget.
Hmm.
And London, that's different altogether. And I don't know what the hell is happening over there now, what they're making. But I know that there's I mean, even Russ, he's getting lots of scripts.
Good.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I do know too that a while ago, and I haven't been keeping up with it, except the fact that I know the result is in the making. It was like a lot of movies now, which wasn't happening. It was like the odd ones. We made a lot of them, even
Hmm. Yep.
But now it's more and more and more. And
Y-
Chris, Chris Hemsworth is making one up on the Gold Coast. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not hitting my pause button because may never come back. But anyway,
True.
and a friend actors, one of our actor friends, said, well, he was going to make it in Hollywood, but now doesn't want to do that because make it and making it in Australia.
Yes. Yes.
So I
Uh,
mean, they're just indicators, right?
well, yeah. Yeah,
More than that,
totally.
really.
And when you've got the majority of the films not being made in California,
Mm,
and what happens to all of those crews, man?
yeah,
I mean, actors, directors, they all fly in back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. But I mean, it's the
yeah.
crews
The
that are stuck,
crews, yeah,
that are
they
stuck
suffer
without. They're stuck
because
without.
in Australia they have to use an Australian crew, which is
Yes.
top notch, by the way.
No,
If
the same with
you
Canada.
didn't know, Canada's the same.
Yeah.
So Canada's good because you have a border thing and all the rest of it, like a
Yeah,
land
well, it's
border and it's
well,
closer.
we're
And
close.
you're
We're close by.
well, that's right. Well, being like being international, I think, because I live on an island, so Australia is an island continent, So
Yes.
that's how my head works. But yeah, and I call it a land border where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Funny
Exactly.
that how that works
Next door
out.
neighbors.
Sorry about that.
Next door neighbors.
Yeah. But I always think because you're close, which is
Hmm.
what you said.
Yeah, but
But ours,
even at
yeah, I
that,
know.
there are way fewer productions that are coming up here.
Well, true, and even
Way fewer.
coming
Because
to your
well, no, because there's just way fewer being made altogether.
mm, Canada's great
You
place
know,
to
our
make
our
them.
west coast. That's I mean that was TV
Mm,
country, right?
yeah, I love
All kinds of
Canadians. So.
TV series. But hey, everybody's going to YouTube. They're not watching
Well,
mainstream TV.
streaming.
They're not watching mainstream TV shows anymore.
And what about Netflix? I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying anything, but if, in the last few days, the last week, this current week, it's made a dive bomb. Everybody's cancelling Netflix,
Yeah.
and because of like Elon said, boom, and
Hmm.
therefore everybody on X is going, and all of a sudden everybody's cancelling.
Well, that's right. And
And
that's throwing people
so
even more.
fickle,
I know, but that's
fickle.
throwing people even more online.
Well, that's right. So
You know,
all your budgets are shown on streaming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, whereas, yeah, you got things like Netflix, stuff like that. I mean, they weren't showing the number.
Box office is false reading now, I suppose. The ones that went to the movies, I mean. I mean, who goes to the movies? I don't know because I mean, I love going to the theatre, you know.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, I really do on big screen stuff. And, you know,
Well, and that's how movies were meant to be seen with a group, with a large group of people.
yeah,
Everybody could all see it all at the same time.
yeah,
And I mean, it. You know, somebody's chuckle over there is contagious.
yeah.
You know,
I loved going there for the bloody popcorn and the, and you know, the ice
somebody.
cream. In
You know,
Australia, we have these choc tops, they're called.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you got somebody else over on the other side there. They're, you know, you're at a horror movie. The first person that screams sets everybody else up.
Uh, yeah.
You know, and not to mention, hey, they used to be family friendly.
I know, that's true.
You know, until you know, like the last what, 8, 10 years.
Yeah, well, the last 5 years of the COVID thing, everything got shut down anyway because of that.
No,
The
no, no, no.
previous
They were
5 years to that, what do you say? You know?
no, they were still allowed to film during COVID. They were considered essential workers, except the theaters weren't. So
Yeah. I wasn't in the country, so how, you know, I was
well,
locked in for
exactly.
6
Yeah, yeah,
months. So
yeah.
what
You
the
were
hell
you were
would I?
stuck off in
Yeah,
Europe. Yeah.
I was relying on your word, yeah, more than anything else, I suppose.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you used to fill me in. Yeah, 6 months locked in.
Yep.
Locked out of Australia, locked into some other strange country.
Yeah. Where
And then
English
lots of
is
other countries that followed
yeah,
on.
yeah, where English isn't spoken very much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I won't say that.
Okay. So what other ways can you go in sideways?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, I
Rattle off
mean,
some.
you could yeah, you could always go and work for a production company and work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know if the agents are still doing internships for writers and stuff,
I don't know either.
but
No.
that's one that used to be one of the big ways of
Mm.
getting your script out there and read. You work
Mm.
your way up in the agency, you know, and if you know, one of the agents, hey, I've got a script, and because of proximity, you're right there. You talk to them all the time, right?
Where you located, yeah.
That's right. You know, wherever whatever agency it is you're working for. Um, Unfortunately, most of that was New York and California. You
Yes.
know, other states didn't have that. But now that um, a lot of the independents and even some of the bigger production companies are moving to, well, even the stuff at Georgia has slowed down right at the moment because again, you know, Disney and all them took all their stuff off to England. Um, but there is Georgia, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Nevada might be in there, but they're more about um, UFC fights and stuff like that. They're more about the live show
Yeah, that's right.
than about movie productions. But I think, I'm thinking Kentucky? Yeah, I think it was Kentucky is one of them.
Country music.
That's that's
Uh-huh.
Tennessee. That's
Yeah.
Tennessee.
All right. How would I know?
Nashville's in Tennessee.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went there once
Mm-hmm.
with with Bryn and Jim and family
Yeah,
from New Orleans. Yeah, that was great. Thanks.
yeah.
I could
But
ramble them.
but another way is, hey, you got a film commission in your state. You know, there's a good place to start right there. Because every country has them, and pretty much basically every state has them. You have your basically government-funded film office.
Oh, there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have them here too. We
We
have them
do
here.
too. Yeah.
Right.
We have
Exactly. So I mean, everybody
yeah.
literally has them.
Funded. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's a place to get in at the ground floor. That's at the roots of it. You're talking
Yeah.
literal guerrilla filming. Independence, mini movies. I mean, you could do like a 10-minute short movie of something on your phone and and actually have it seen by someone, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the whole bit is to film it,
Mm.
have it seen, have it critiqued.
Mm.
And that's the biggest thing right there, is to have it critiqued, at least by people who know, who are beyond your level.
Mm. Yeah.
Because with the phone, you can be the producer, director, and writer all in one.
Mm.
You know, the only thing you can't, if you're holding the phone, you just can't be the actor.
Yes.
because
Locations as well. Yeah.
right, because sometimes the film festivals
Mm.
are a way bigger place to go into, because they like the shorts. They like the short movies because they're expecting there is a long movie.
That's another thing.
The
Shorts.
the short movie is a teaser for a bigger thing.
Yeah. To show your skills as well.
That's right, and that's where you'll have actors and actresses showing up, and directors show up, and
Yeah.
cinematographers, and all kinds of entertainment, interviewers, and like
That's
literally
true.
everybody
You get
shows up at all the
media
festivals.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I've worked. We used to have the film festival here in Winnipeg, and I worked that for a few years, and like literally I just stayed in Winnipeg for the weekend because it was just it's a long drive home after
Absolutely.
that,
Yeah.
you know. But it was a lot of fun because you met a lot of people,
Yeah.
and the majority of the people I talked to were Canadian actors,
Mm.
which was just awesome, just totally awesome. And other people with creative minds, that they could see stuff in your script or in how you talk to them
Yeah.
that intrigued them. Like, tell me more about this story, you know? But that's the beauty of doing festivals and that live. You do it online, you don't got that. You don't got it. There's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. You don't have that
No.
attention. Yeah.
No.
It's too spread out.
You never get the opportunity to actually meet anybody.
Right. Yeah.
It's gone.
It's yeah. There's no face-to-face stuff.
Well, that's right.
You have no way of
Yeah. Because I mean, when local.
keeping their attention as well.
Well,
Like
it isn't even.
face-to-face you do until the conversation is over.
It isn't even that. They're not even there to start the conversation.
Well,
The
never
actors
mind.
don't. The actors don't come online.
No, nobody does because it's
right?
not deemed that that's a lot of runs down from, the other,
Mm-hmm.
from the
But
line.
but I do know when local heroes, which is what our Winnipeg festival was, when they took that online and made it shorts only, it just
Mm,
it just plummeted.
they just died from,
It
yeah.
just plummeted, and I mean, when I was working there, it was packed. I mean, every hotel for like 10 blocks was booked.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
and it was just
Everyone
you know,
loves to get out of the house, right? To
oh
say the
yeah, and
least.
well,
And meet people.
and get
It's
this,
not,
our festival was at the coldest point of winter.
yeah,
The
that's
coldest
right.
point of winter. So if you're coming,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
determined because we're talking minus 30, minus 35 below
yeah.
in
Canada's
Celsius.
cold.
In
So,
Celsius, right? So I mean, you're talking pretty much this. I think it's the same. I think 32 minus 32 is minus 32 Fahrenheit as well. That's where they link up.
that's bloody cold. Yeah.
Yes. So you've got to be pretty darn determined
That's true.
if you
Yes.
want to hit that festival. And I mean, and it was packed. It was
Yeah.
always packed.
I bet you missed that.
Yeah, yeah, because it
Yeah.
was a lot. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun working it.
Well, that's the thing. That is fun.
Yeah.
To sit and watch streaming, we do that all the time. It doesn't really affect us. All of us around the planet, you know.
Well, that's right. That's right. But when you physically meet somebody and shake their hand and you know
You're missing out on that if
and
you're
then
not going.
and then
Yes.
working on them to set everything up to make sure everything's ready to go and the goodie packages are done and you know and then just bring signing everybody
That's
in
it.
as they come in with their packages. It's wonderful. It's a lot
So,
of fun.
bloody chill. I should have locked her. You keep going back. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, that's what happens.
Anyway, wow, this hour is almost gone.
Yeah, it's
Oh my God.
amazing.
And we have so
Amazing.
much more to speak of, to talk about.
Well, yeah. But you know what? I think a lot of those details will come in when
As
um
we carry on.
as we build up followers and subscribers and they start coming to chat and we'll
Yeah,
have to,
yeah.
and then we can get more finer points, to
True.
questions, right?
That's true.
Because
Yeah.
we're trying to just give kind of more of a broad overlay.
Yeah.
Number one, so writers realize there isn't only one way to get your writing out there,
That's looking sideways. Yeah,
right?
going. Yeah.
There's more than one way to get it noticed, and that just because it doesn't work one way doesn't mean it won't work another way.
That's the point. That's what I was thinking the same,
That's
If it
right.
doesn't work one way, you do keep looking in different angles, what can I do?
That's
Do
very
not just
right.
sort of sit there despondent and you go, oh damn. But you always keep looking for different angles, different ways
That's
of
right.
trying to get somebody's interest to eventually to make your movie.
And
It's,
part of that is getting into, like we did,
yeah,
a writers group out of California,
yes, yeah,
and then we went
yeah.
to California, we met people, we met agents, we met all kinds of people when we were down there. And that's just one of the ways. But I mean, you have to literally get out to meet people, but you have to network ahead of time.
And you want to meet directors too, not just writers, because that's what you are. They all have
Yeah.
the same thing, you know. You want to actually kind of like get, hey, hi, director, how are you? You know, not exactly that way, of course. But you go, oh, producer, oh, director, oh, how much money they got? No, what's the genre? And, you know, it's all like you do your homework, in other words, in a nice, quiet way, not like me, just joking about. But yeah, it's like there are ways to do it, and like our biggest problem is too. And I suppose I shouldn't get into it, but you know, you live in Canada, I live in Australia. We don't have the contacts, the physical contacts with people in Hollywood, for example. Even though we talked about it and all that, but it's
Well,
still
yes,
Hollywood, you know, and known as such.
yes, but so you stop and think about it. My contest standings are how I met the gentleman I'm working for now, VI Pictures, and as
I've
the as the I'm the director of development there, and it's simply because of my writing. And he hired me as a consultant on his first script, and
yeah.
everything just went from there. Now it's going to be a whole franchise.
That's right. Beautiful.
Yep.
Yep. Like that.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
another sideways
that is
to,
another sideways.
and
Yes.
the thing is to, you know, if you end up friends, even if you're not writing at the first instance, you know, you people get to know you and you get to know them, and all the whole zone relaxes, and that's where you start talking normal. You know, you're not selling all the time, not doing your elevator pitch and all that stuff. You are
That's right.
actually talking real things, you know, and they
And
like, you know,
and that's how we met. We were in this.
that's what
We
I
weren't
was
even in the
thinking.
same. We weren't even in the same class, but
That's right.
we went through the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
company,
yeah, mm, yeah.
right? But one of those things. And having a website has always been good.
Yeah.
Facebook. Eh, I can think of better places than Facebook. If you want to actually meet people that are in the industry
Oh, right. Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
beyond where you are.
It won't advance you too
No,
much in what we're saying. Yeah.
no.
That's a nice place, and but
Yeah,
I don't
well,
think, you know, we've got a lot of friends and things like that, or I don't know what they call them these
hmm
days, followers and all that stuff.
yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's still like a solo trip, isn't it? You know, you don't sort of
Yes,
go
it
like
is.
that too much, you know. But every
Well,
now
yeah,
and then they do contact me, and you know,
yeah.
there's the musicians and things like that, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
other,
yeah.
yeah,
And I find LinkedIn to be a good place
mm.
where you can start a conversation, or the
Um,
algorithm's kind of screwy now.
mm,
It's not as good
mm,
as it used to be because they are doing it by algorithm now, which
yeah,
is like, well, that just made it impossible to have conversations because it just jumps
mm.
all over the place, right?
That's true. That's the thing, isn't it? It's
So
wide,
and
yeah.
so you have to literally send a friend request or DM somebody, you know?
Yeah, yeah, but that well on X, you know, I'm on X, and that's a whole different animal. And I
Oh
guess we're
yeah.
not going to go into that, but
No.
right now because we've got over. Not that it matters, we can talk all day, you know.
Mhm.
But having, you know, I mean, they're different social platforms now. Maybe we should do a
Yes.
subject on that alone,
I
in
think
depth.
we should. I think we should. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and my
because
experience on this one and that, and you know,
yeah.
like Insta and all the rest of it, who really notice you, who doesn't, and you know, like, you know, how do you scroll this way or that way, you know?
Well, yeah.
I don't
How do
know.
you get past all the noise to get to the
Oh,
comments that
yeah,
matter?
I know.
right?
Yeah, yes. The good and the
But
bad of social platforms has that.
uh,
The good and the bad of it.
I would
Oh, the
rather, I'd rather
helpful
just
or unhelpful.
no.
That's probably,
I would rather we literally tell them about different places where they could find like-minded people.
well, that was what
Much
I was, yeah,
easier, much
exactly.
easier than hunting through
That was
Instagram
my
and stuff like
bottom
this.
line too, yeah.
You know, I
Well,
mean,
of course.
Shore Scripts is one of them, right?
Mm.
Blue Cat is another one. They've got their whole format and places where you can, chat with everybody rather than just literally tossing yourself fully online.
It didn't mean it's bad or
Oh,
good.
I didn't
I mean,
either.
it's always for a purpose, And
Oh,
our
yes.
purpose is to sell stuff and make movies and all that. So, who can
Well,
you find those people who actually talk back to you?
hmm.
And who doesn't?
Well,
I suppose.
for me, it's more like I'm more
Yeah,
about meeting new friends that I'll work with in the future.
that's an essential. That is an essential.
Yes, but a lot of
Yeah.
people, they say networking, get online. They think that means pitch, 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 pitch.
Ah,
It's like no, 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 no. No. You got to get to know each other first.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
And
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
and if you don't get along, um,
yeah.
your script might not be their type of script because you're coming
Yes.
at it from a different angle than they would
Yes.
come at it.
That's the complications of it
That's
sometimes.
right. And that's why you talk first. You feel other
Yeah,
people
that. Yes,
and you know,
yes.
like when I meet new writers online, they want to be friends or whatever, or I want to friend them. My first thing I say is, "Hi, what's your genre?" I mean,
Yes, yeah, yeah. What's your genre? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's it. I get that on X a lot with there's book writers and things like
Okay,
that. So
so
I'm
how
kind of
about
getting both angles. On Facebook, it's all screenwriting. On X, it's writers, and
mm-hmm.
it's kind of interesting in a way, and it's helpful.
Okay, so how about if we continue with this same conversation next week?
Yeah, alrighty.
I
Sounds
think
good to me.
I think yeah, I think episode 7 would be good for networking.
Yes, yes. And we all some little notes, and I never had to look at my notes, not even
Well,
once. And
well,
I'm a note taker. Yeah.
which is why you know what we came on here to be live, not to read. So I
And
didn't
it's
make
right
any
up our.
notes.
That's right up our alley. 'Cause we have no problems with
We
notes
got no
for this.
problem talking, none at
Nah.
all.
And we'll
But
go on
anyway,
talking after we've gone.
yeah. But anyway, that'll be it for today. And thank you everybody for showing
Yeah.
up.
Thank
And this next week it'll be on Kaz's channel.
Yes.
So that'll be Kaz Drysdale at YouTube.
Thank
And
you.
well, we're going to be talking about networking even more.
More and more, yeah.
We'll get down to some of the places we found were the good places to go and talk to people and learn more, even of your craft and everything else.
Mm. You can never know too much. That's what I reckon.
Yes, exactly. Always learn. Keep learning, man. You
Yeah.
won't regret it.
Yeah. Oh, and I love it if you just like and subscribe.
You betcha.
We
And
love that.
if you think it's good, and you
Mm.
have people you know that are screenwriters or
And
want to be
please
screenwriters,
comment.
share.
Please comment.
Definitely share.
And we
Yes.
always read them. Yeah.
Yep,
Thank
yep.
you.
That is for sure. We do.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye from
Good
me.
night.
Have a good one.